why was Eurocapital established?
Eurocapital Partners Estate was established in 1993 by Tiascia Prozenc, my attorney. I was the only director of the company, and I have never resigned from the position of a director of the company. So I have been since 1993 till today the director of the company. But in 1999, Prozenc has arbitrarily taken me off from the company registry as a director and has named a non-existing person, meaning anagraphically non-existing. And that person would be Doris Meyer Pignatelli. That was my mother, because now she's not with us anymore. But my mother never had the name Pignatelli on her documents, because the marriage between my father and my mother got annulled, so it never existed. And the bottom line is that anagraphically, Doris Meyer exists, but not Doris Pignatelli. And it's incredible how Prozenc has managed to put the name of a person that doesn't exist. And then I guess that because there was Federico Pignatelli, she wanted to put another Pignatelli, so it sounded like a normal transition within family members. That is my suspicion. But the fact is that she named a non-existing person as a director of my company. After she did that, few years later, without my knowledge of me not being technically anymore the director, even though having not resigned, I was technically the director all along, as I am now, since 1993. But in the registry, there was the name of Doris Pignatelli, that is a different person. What then Prozenc does, she lives in the building, in my building, and she asked me if I would be selling, that she was interested in buying the apartment in which she's living in my building. And back then I said, no, I'm sorry, but we are not interested in selling. We will never sell because we want to keep the building as a unit. And is a family building. Was built by my grandfather with great sacrifices, and I wanted to keep it as a unit. So she was unhappy, and what she does, she betrays her client, me, my company, and without saying anything to anyone, meaning to the ownership, she fabricates documents that then are signed by this non-existing person, Doris Pignatelli, in which she sells the apartment to her, essentially for nothing. So she becomes the owner of the place that she wanted, buying it from the client without the client knowing. So this is an insider type of operation where the legal representative of the company buys for herself something that the owner of that apartment, does not know that there is actually a transfer of property. And that is done by the legal representative of the company. It would be considered fraud in any jurisdiction. So she transferred this property to herself. Then a few years, like 2 or 3 years later, she also buys from the company, she transfers from the company with no payment, the store that is on Wolfhofer 1, a large store of 200 square meters, to her son. So suddenly, a few years later, I learned that 2 properties belonging to me, to my company, have been transferred to Prozenc and her son without any knowledge from me, the owner, without any payment from them. She decided that my mother, in reality, was the owner of the company. She has no authority whatsoever to go beyond what is in the papers. The shareholders of Eurocapital was me at 75%, my brother at 25%. I was the sole director of the company. She had no rights whatsoever to take me off the company, and she had no right whatsoever to put my mother, with a fake name, by the way, as the director of the company, based on her presumption that she was the real owner. And that is what she said to the court. This is absolutely unacceptable because she was not the owner. I paid the share that were sold by my cousins. And anyway, I'm registered. And I've been registered all along since 1993 as the owner of the company. Not my mother, not anybody else, not Prozenc. And it's nobody's business to guess, particularly a lawyer, to guess who really is or not as an owner of a corporation.